A leading anti-slavery charity's told this programme that it's received several complaints about clothing factories in Leicester. They're in a response to a new campaign to stop garment workers being exploited in the city. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Textiles, a big business in Leicester. Legitimate companies employ thousands of people, but they're having to compete against cowboys who cut costs by exploiting their workers. So now this campaign from the charity that runs the Modern Slavery Helpline. In its first few weeks, it's prompted several calls from garment workers in Leicester.
Quite often this is about people just needing work, and unfortunately we have some unscrupulous employers who want to make a profit out of that and are quite happy to cut corners, to not pay people the wage that they should be entitled to, and we need to stop it.
Put your hands up if you're a British citizen.
Investigations used to focus on workers breaking the law. When we joined this raid 12 years ago, they were arresting suspected illegal immigrants. But now the focus has shifted to the dodgy employers who exploit workers because they're vulnerable.
The majority of individuals are here legally, but sometimes they're being allowed to stay in extended families' accommodation. So as a result of that, they're open to exploitation because of fear of losing their accommodation. But we also see others who have mental health concerns or learning disabilities, and again, they are targeted as well.
Over the last few months, political pressures prompted more investigations. Here last December, they found 5 workers were sleeping on the factory floor. And the fast fashion retailers are now doing more to check their supply chains. But evidence can be hard to find because workers are often too scared to complain. So this new campaign's urging the rest of us to report concerns too.
Well, Jeremy joins us now with a development on this story tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, Leicester City Councils have just been discussing a crackdown by several agencies called Operation Tacit. Now, we heard they've gone into over 200 garment factories in the city. Concerns raised about more than 30 of those about things like underpayment of wages, about health and safety. Importantly, though, they haven't found evidence that meets the threshold of modern slavery, the legal definition of that. And we're talking there about more serious stuff like people being forced to work against their will.
But what about all those damning headlines we saw last year?
Well, the Deputy Mayor, Adam Clark, said some of those more lurid headlines simply weren't true. He described them as a deliberate attempt to undermine the city. He said evidence showed that there wasn't a link between the industry and local coronavirus outbreaks. But he said they're not going to shy away from problems. They're now looking at better enforcement, at a new fashion training academy, at more help for victims as well. And we've also heard that investigators have now identified over 100 garment businesses that they want to take a closer look at.